Should you join the military? Is it right for you? What are the pros? What are the cons? Today I'll be talking about differences and opinions from an active duty member. That's me. Alright. Anyways, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Boff, and today I'm bringing you another video. So recently I haven't been posting to this channel just because I lost motivation. It's hard to stay motivated when you don't really know what you're doing. And I'm trying to take a new approach to the channel, and hopefully it'll work out. So let's get into this. Alright, so let's start off with the pros. So one thing that's great about the military that I love, you have steady pay, right? You always are guaranteed a paycheck, and it's the same unless you rank up. Now, just a quick con, it's always the same. Like, you could work 16 hours, right, and get the same pay as if you had worked 2 hours. And sometimes that can be very frustrating, knowing that you only work, you work like 16 to 18 hours a day. Let's just say, because there's some situations where you'll do that. You work 16 hours a day, you get maybe 5 hours of sleep, and you're back on it, right? And it's just the reality of the military, is the fact that you just can't control it sometimes. Alright, so let's move on to the next pro. Always have the same... Oh, sorry. Always have somewhere to stay. So, yeah, you always have somewhere to stay, including utilities, of course, for base housing, or if you are in the barracks, because that's where you'll be if you're not married, or in the right rank, which is going to be like E5 in the Navy. That's what I'm in. You always have somewhere to stay, and that's always good. You'll never be homeless, of course. You always have also something to eat, right? Like, it may not be when you want it, right? But there's always a breakfast, lunch, and dinner that's going to be there for you, whether you're at your command or you just go to the galley or the DFAC for Army. Yeah, you guys always have something to eat. You always have a house, and you always have steady pay. Those are three very strong things. But let's move on to more pros. So there's a lot of, and when I say a lot of benefits for joining the military, such as healthcare, right? That's also kind of a con, but we'll talk about that later. Healthcare. You get a VA loan when you get out, and that's extremely helpful, right? When you first join, actually, if you come in with debt from school, right, the Navy will actually pay off your debt for you to join, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I would look more into that, but yeah, the Navy will pay off your tuition debt, or any outstanding debt, like below like 30K or something like that. And I think one of the biggest things for me, what the Navy has done for me so far in the 4 years that I've been in, it has taught me how to be a man. And I say that, and it's weird, but you have to think, not many of us have an example of what... Some of us don't have any example, actually, of what it's like to be a man. How to take care of your family, how to, basically just work and work hard, work through, like, all the things that come at you in life. And sometimes it's hard, we all struggle, we all go through a lot, and some of the younger viewers that may be watching, you may not understand yet, and some of the guys that may be older watching this video, they may have already been through really hard times and have had to struggle in life, and sometimes it's not easy to handle. One thing the military has done is taught me that I can do whatever. Me personally, I'm a submariner. I've had to do some very, very, very hard things in my life so far in the military, especially. And it's taught me that I can accomplish any goal I want in life as long as I put my mind to it. And it's kind of that sense of, confidence, right, that they give you. And then on top of it, they teach you, hey, you gotta do your taxes. Hey, you gotta do this. Hey, you gotta do that. And you're responsible on so many levels. One thing that kind of sucks, but is a pro, is one team, one fight, right? So it's supposed to be like a brotherhood. Now, I'll tell you 100% now that it's not always that way. It's definitely not always a brotherhood. And they'll tell you that all the time. Or join the military. There you'll have a second family. It's not true. You'll have a bunch of acquaintances, right? But you have to remember that everyone eventually leaves. Sorry, everyone eventually leaves and moves on. And that doesn't mean they're leaving the military. They could be leaving to go to the next duty station or anything like that. Sorry, guys, my voice is a little hoarse. And yeah, that's about all I got. The VA loan I talked about, the GI Bill. No, I didn't talk about the VA loan. Actually, you get a VA loan when you get out as well, right? And that's so that they'll match you to about $450,000 you get, right, to purchase a home. And of course, you're not going to go out and buy a $450,000 home, but you can buy a nice $200,000 home when you get out, or even when you're in. And then whatever you don't use, you get to use on another house. That's how amazing this VA loan is. On top of that, when you're in the military, you get so many discounts, and like I said, it's pretty easy to save money once you get up in rank, but pays pretty good. All right, let's move on to the cons. So the biggest cons for me, right, are going to be they control your life. And that's real. Like, you have very little say so on what you do at all, and it sucks. It really sucks, knowing that you can't choose how to look. Right? If someone says, "Hey, you need to get a fucking haircut," like, whether you want to get a haircut or not, you have to. Right? That's one thing. Or they tell you, you have to wear the same uniform every day. You have to keep up grooming standards for that uniform. And if you don't, you just get destroyed, right? And if you guys don't know what I mean by that, I mean, like, you're gonna get yelled at, you're gonna get talked down to, and treated like less of a person because of the fact that they don't like the way you look. And let's move on to another one. Depending on what kind of command you go to, right? For me, I'm in the Navy. I'm in the submarine force. It's a harsh environment. People can be mean. Like I said, it's a pro that wants you to fight, but it's a con the fact that you're around these people a lot. When you go underway, you're around them 24/7, or go on deployment. And you may not always like the people, but you have to work with them, and sometimes work for them. There's a lot of incompetency that you'll see in the military at points. And no matter whether you agree with them or not, if they outrank you or they tell you, hey, this is what it's going to be, you have to listen. And it's rough. It really is. It's rough listening to people that you don't believe in. So if you're not able to do that kind of thing, if you're not able to listen to people, and work hard, you're not going to do well in the military. It's really hard having the Navy control you. Like, let's just say that you live in a state where medical marijuana is legal. Of course, in the military, it's never going to be that way. If you don't believe in pills or you don't believe in different things, the military doesn't care. And that's another thing. The military, they don't really give a shit. They care about what you can do for them. And if you can't do what they want you to, you're no good. So let's move on to another con. The healthcare system. So the healthcare for the military is completely terrible. And not everyone's going to have the same experiences, right? This is my experiences I'm talking about. There's been a lot of pros, right? But the healthcare system is just terrible. Now, I'm thinking that's across almost every branch. I'll just give you an example of how terrible it is. When I was on a mini deployment not too long ago, I had some heart/anxiety issues I was going through because I was working 17-18 hours a day. I was working 17-18 hours a day, right? And I was drinking so much coffee, so much energy drinks. I wasn't eating healthy because I was just so stressed all the time. I was getting maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, and we were doing things I can't really talk about what we were doing, unfortunately, because what I do is secret and other things like that, so I'm not allowed to disclose it. But I got to the point where I just got so overwhelmed that I had an anxiety attack, and if anyone knows what that's like, it feels like you're having a heart attack, and that was the first time it's ever happened to me. Um, and I thought I was going to die that day. It was probably one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me, because I truly thought I was never going to be able to go back to my wife and tell her that I love her, and tell my family that I love them, and all I want for them is to love me. And it's hard having that thought of like, this is going to be my last day on earth, like, this is it, guys. And I was going to die somewhere where I hated, because me personally, I don't like being on the submarine force in America. It's just not, well, really anywhere. It doesn't matter where I am. I don't like the submarine force. It's not for me. But that doesn't mean it's not for everyone. So, anyways, I got medevaced off the boat. If you guys don't know what that is, they have a helicopter come and transport you to a hospital from whatever boat you're on. And when I got there, I had to wait about 4 hours, be seen. It was pretty terrible, and that's from me being medevaced, right? That's doesn't make sense, because I got medevaced because of an emergency, and I thought I was dying. Like, I was having, like, I don't know how to explain it other than like seizure-like symptoms, where I was just spazzing out and passing out, and my heart rate was at, like, I don't know how accurate it was, but when my docs measured it was like 200. My heart rate was at 200, and like, I thought like that was it. My wife was crying because I was spazzing out. I mean, it was terrible. And the doctor comes in, or I'm sorry, one of the nurses come in, put my IV in, and he puts it in, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I messed up," and he rips it like out of my arm. And I'm just like, "Oh, dude, that was a dick move." So he gets up and leaves, and I'm like, "What the hell?" He comes back with the doctor, and the doctor tells me about how I should have military bearing, and how I can't talk to people like that, and I was being extremely disrespectful, and I need to change my attitude. And mind you, I'm sitting here in so much pain. I'm sitting here, scared, not in the right mind, and all I said was that was a dick move. And he went and cried, and I'm getting lectured, and I'm a patient at a hospital. That's just one little example of the many examples of the military healthcare system. So yeah, it's a gigantic con. So sorry, guys, sorry. Let's move on. One thing that's interesting that you guys probably don't know is they can choose if you get married, I guess choose is not the right word, but you have to ask permission. If you are not married, or if you're single and you're trying to get married to someone, you have to ask permission. You can't just get married, and if you do, you can get in trouble. The reasoning for that is, people go out in different countries and they'll marry women from different countries, and they won't run it by the military, and the military assesses everything as a threat. So that sucks. Another, I guess, pro that I forgot to tell you guys about is there is a very good, I want to say, environment between coworkers. In the civilian world, it's not like, you like your coworkers or you don't like them, and if you like them, then cool. If you don't like them, then screw them. That's how you feel. In the military, it's like, if you like them, you have to work with them, and you have to treat them right. If you don't like them, you have to work with them, and you have to treat them right. And it kind of leads sometimes to like a cool environment. Everyone just kind of like talks crap to each other, and we give each other shit, and we just kind of like, it makes work fun sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But back to the cons. I'm sorry. One thing that really, really, really sucks is there are no sick days. So there are, but there are not. Like, you have to be extremely, extremely sick for them to even consider, like, letting you off. Like, you could be sick and they'll just be like, oh, it's okay, take 2 Tylenol and get back to work. That's just the way they are, right? And the worst part about it is if you get injured, especially in the submarine force, and this isn't always true in the Army or the Marines, right? If you get injured, people talk down to you, right? They're like, oh, yeah, you're injured, you can't do nothing, you're useless, blah, blah, blah. They treat you like dirt. And it makes you feel like crap sometimes because of the fact that, well, you get treated like dirt because of something that sometimes you just had no control of. But I'm about done with this. I just want to say the military, while I don't like the military, I don't want to be in the military anymore. I would never take back any of the experiences that I've had in the military. I've got to travel, which is another pro, to South Korea, 2 places in Japan, which is Nagasaki. I got to go to Nagasaki. I got to go to Sasebo. I got to go to Yokosuka. I got to go to Tokyo. Got to go to Guam. I'm stationed in Hawaii. It's like there's some goods. There's some really good things, and I met my wife here. I would never ever take it back. Not even close. The experiences, the camaraderie, learning how to be a man, learning how to how the struggle in life can sometimes motivate you to be better. I would never in my entire life ever take any of these experiences back. And if anyone were to ask if joining the military is the right thing, especially people that need a new start, people that aren't going anywhere in life, I would tell them yes. I'll tell them it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Because it is. Right? But it's worth it. Later on, in another video, I'm going to be talking about recruiters, what they're going to tell you, what you should know before you go, and things like that. I'm going to start giving some military knowledge, just because I feel like it needs to be coming on a different platform, We don't always know where to look sometimes when we're having these questions, and we type it into YouTube, and you see these people, and I'm kind of just trying to be more down to earth and be realistic. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh yeah, the military is the best thing in the world. No, I'll tell you right now that the military sucks. It's terrible, man. It's like constantly being controlled 24/7 and not having the ability to make my own decisions. It sucks. But in the end, when I get out, I'm going to have so many benefits, so many opportunities in life to do well. I can't be mad. I really can't. The suffering, the heartache, the everything, honestly, it's worth it. For me. Not for everybody. Well, alright guys, the video's going to be coming to an end soon. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the topic. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I'll help you out. Alright guys, anyways, I just want to say thank you for watching. I'm getting off of here. Peace.
Epic brings a tear to my eye.